In attending sewing classes Brooklyn, you will be learning a lot of things. These are important to consider in making your project. Thus, here are the list of steps you will encounter. The first thing that you should do is to organize everything that you will be using, because this is the primary key of being successful, and this could be a means for you to achieve what are your goals, because you have already determined what they are. Before you actually start, you have to gather all the things that you will need, such as the sketch and the pattern. The next aspect that you should be informed as well is that you should have your needles replaced every now and then, but the ideal would be that you should be keeping this step at the beginning of every project. This is also more applicable when you sew cloth which is sheer or silk, because the old ones you have will snag and burr. As an effect, doing a stitch would be harder and more effort will be needed to make it neat. Another thing which could help you through this interest is the supply called Seam Sealer, and you will be surprised of its life-saving effects in cases where you have accidentally ripped off the fabric. This instance will usually take place when you cut the buttonhole and you were mistaken to place it somewhere else. Moreover, you also have to be anticipating that the garments sewn will also have to be pressed, and the typical appliance for that is the iron, which uses steam. You should not be forgetting that when you actually press with it, you have to turn it off and do it with precision. You should observe this so that your fingers will be protected from the burning effects of the moist heat. If you are thinking of adding plackets openings, they should be finished nicely, and this is commonly added to skirts. In order to achieve this, you should be finishing the edges where the pleating would begin, and the hem should also be intended to be narrow. You should be avoiding a wide end. Separate placket in completing the opening to prevent any errors. One more matter that you should be remembering is that you also have to treat ahead of time the trims as well as the yardage if you are thinking about caring for the outcome garment. Washing the items in the washing machine after they have been sewn, which would even include the cotton cord that you will use for the piping. Iron the dry cleaning materials with the correct temperature. Furthermore, to prevent distortion of your fashion, the fusible interfacing should not be set at a temperature which is too high. The result would be puckering, and the outcome would look cheap. This is usually applicable adding collars and cuffs, which will be needing much support. Finally, your instructor in sewing classes Brooklyn will tell you to have a magnet at all times. This will be to attach drop pins on the floor or in your ironing board or machine, since this has the ability to attract metals. However, do not use this on digital machine.